What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here and for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation / reality chat. And guys, I wanted to talk about this for a couple of days now, just getting a chance to really get into it. But we know I guess we'll call it the grand exit that Phaedraparks made from the Real Housewives of Atlanta several seasons ago, when this lie that Porsha really was out there putting out about Kandi, even the two had that infamous blow up. And I talked about that before as well, where they were at lunch together and Porsha was all in Kandi's face. She brought her water bottle. I don't think she had even planned to order anything to eat or anything to drink, because she came into the restaurant with her own water bottle. Like, who does that, right? So I don't know if you all caught that. If you ever watched that episode, watch it again and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So Porsha was on a mission. And Kandi talked about this recently because she had this guy by the name of Jay on Speak On It. And he wanted to ask her what a lot of people have actually been wondering, and I've wondered as well, as to why she refuses to film with Phaedra again. And she said it. I've heard her say it. Look, if they want to bring her back, they can bring her back. I'll exit. But as long as they want me to be on the show, I will not film with her. But I'm not saying they have to keep me, because I don't have any control over that. And I'm not one of those people. There are a lot of people that can't stand Kandi. I'm not one of those people. I'm really indifferent to it. But I can get Kandi's point, but I also wondered as well as to, well, if she can forgive Porsha, then why can't she forgive Phaedra? I was one of those people that wondered that. I'm not saying that Phaedra deserved to come back, because Phaedra's just done a lot of stuff over the years that a lot of times people get either selective memory, or so much time has passed that we may really forget what someone has actually done. And I'm not saying that people should not get an opportunity to redeem themselves, but I believe that you have to show remorse in order to receive redemption. But I want to play this clip from her Speak On It where she was discussing this, and then we'll just continue with this conversation.
About the season and a lot of off-season stuff, too.
A lot of off-season stuff, too. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what you want to hit first?
What? They feel like you owe Phaedra a conversation.
I don't owe her shit, and I would say that to anybody.
Thing.
Not a motherfucking thing. I don't owe her shit. She would never get shit from me.
Because she was like, I don't understand. She was like, I don't understand.
She was the main one back in the day. It's like, when she with you, she with you. And when she with you, when she not, she want to drag you. Yeah. Because before, she was the main one saying that Phaedra should have got fired. When she went on, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she was saying that. I didn't even say that, but she said that. So it's just like, now all of a sudden you think I owe her a conversation for what?
I'm going to pause it right there. So she's talking about Nene. You know, Nene was recently interviewed on Carlos King's podcast. And I will admit, I have to agree with Kandi. And for the people who just love Nene inside and out, no matter what, they're not going to see it that way. But if you are honest, you have to admit that Nene can be a flip-flopper. And she has done that. She actually was the one on Watch What Happens Live with Andy, when Andy, being the messy queen that he is, asked him, do you think anyone should be fired? And she infamously said, freak and fraud, because as you know, at that time, Phaedra and Porsha were calling each other frick and frack. So she said, freak and fraud, they should be fired, because she was calling out what they did against Kandi. And also, when Nene was on the show, this was after Phaedra was off, and Nene and Porsha were getting into it, and Porsha was pissed off about Nene trying to get her fired. That's what she called it, trying to get her fired. And she was going off on Porsha at that time. And she was like, what you did to Kandi was wrong and blah, 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 blah. So this was a time on the show when Nene and Kandi were, I guess, a little bit cool, if you want to put it in that way. So now she does this interview with Carlos and she's saying that she feels like they should have a conversation. The people are owed that. Why didn't they ever have a sit down? And when she did bring up the fact that, I don't understand how she could be, even though I'm friends with Porsha, I don't understand how she could be friends with Porsha. And I will say this, I do agree with Nene on that. I am just going to continue to play this clip and then I'll continue in the conversation as to why I agree with Nene about Kandi being friends with Porsha.
She was saying the fans was robbed of that, and she was like, "If you
and they ain't never gonna get it because the reason why I say it's not about the fans. I love the fans, but to me, more than one thing. Not to speak too much on that,
right?
But I mean, obviously, everybody know the blatant lie that was told.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of people don't even. It's like y'all be forgetting or something. I don't forget, especially not in this situation.
Yeah.
People always be like, "Oh, it was somebody else made it up." This blah blah blah. But y'all don't remember Porsha sitting there in that thing and said, "No, you told me that Kandi told you out your own mouth that this happened."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, no." Then she tried to say, "No, somebody else told me that."
Right.
Yeah. Like. You can't defend yourselves against blatant liars or people who are so spiteful that will make up anything to tear you down and then hide. Because, like, during the time that the whole situation played out, we didn't even know she was involved.
Right. But that was her thing. She was saying if you made it with Porsha, and she's like, you and Porsha have become friends again, she don't see why Phaedra don't get the same grace. But, I mean, what do you mean?
It wasn't just that. People also forget the whole thing. Okay, first of all, those accusations, people want to bring those up every other year. I don't know if y'all know, people be like, "Oh, she must be true," or maybe it's some truth too. Yeah. Even though y'all seen it play out as a lie, right? And we all know those type of accusations
they stick with you for life.
Stick with you for life and have totally ruined some people. Yeah. Now, thank God that I was able to turn the situation around.
But I think that was because people know you.
That I do believe a lot of people.
They know you don't drink, so.
Yeah, I believe a lot of people didn't believe it, but then also there are a lot of, over time, the shit it all came out in the end, and it was proven that she was lying. You know what I'm saying? Had Porsha not said anything, right, I would have never known that she did it, and I would have never been able to defend myself against that. Yeah. It would have just been something that would have been forever. Kept going and dragged my name, right, and my businesses. Yeah. And mind you, I have a Bedroom Kandi, which is an adult brand, and something like that definitely will ruin that.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. The other part about that, I think a lot of people forget in the middle of the reunion that year, she was like, "Oh yeah, how's everything going with your restaurant?" Now, people, what y'all don't know, or what I thought I explained back then, maybe some of y'all don't forget.
And
my restaurant
going to
wasn't
the city and calling people. I remember you saying
yes, for some reason, like I had passed everything before the board, but my liquor license had not been signed off on. And we were supposed to be opening our restaurant, but for some reason, it hadn't been signed off on. Mm-hmm. And when she did that, I knew that she had something to do with it because she was cool with the person who had to sign off. Let's just say that at the time. Okay. And so my whole thing was, it's one thing for you to try to tear me down on the show. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. But then you also trying to affect my life and my business outside of the show. Probably. And that's when I was just like, you know what? That's dangerous. You get what I'm saying? And with that being said, I don't want to, I can't with you. Because I can't, you will be pulling strings and doing everything you can to destroy me, even when it has nothing to do with the show. Right. Even when I'm not around you, I don't see you, I don't talk to you. So, you know what? Let me just excuse myself and move. Like, I've never tried to, stop. Obviously, she's still on show. She's still on Bravo. Yeah. Right. So, you do you, I do me. If they want to have you there, that's fine. I just don't want to be there. Like, I don't know why everybody has a problem with me saying that. I don't get it.
All right, so you heard that, and there's a little more, and the interview goes on. If you want to check it out, you can go to her YouTube channel, speak on it, but or Kandionline, I think is what the channel is called. But anyway, I have to agree with her because Phaedra is that chick. She's not that is not someone that you can call a friend. And although they became friendly and became friends on the show, because obviously they didn't really know each other that well, I believe they knew of each other. You know, Phaedra, she used to represent Bobby Brown back in the day. Kandi was in the group Escape. She never claimed that she did any work with Kandi or Escape or even JD, Jermaine Dupri for that matter. But Phaedra said she was an entertainment attorney, so I'm quite sure she knew of her, but I don't think that they were really friends. But you remember the first season that Phaedra was on the show and she had the baby. She was lying about how many months she was for whatever reason. And Kandi went to the hospital. You could tell that Kandi didn't really know her that well. She was trying to be friends. And over the seasons, they became more friendly and became what I guess Kandi thought were friends. Phaedra is not a friend to anybody. She started out lying on the show about her own life, about the pregnancy, how many months she was, her and Apollo sitting there at the table. She's trying to act prim and proper. And now if you go to IG and you check her out, she's got shorts that look like thongs up her butt, wearing a blonde wig. And she was the main one that used to talk about, I don't wear hair weave and I don't do this and I don't do that. But now you're doing all of these things that you criticize other people for doing. She's fake. Phaedra is fake. She might be good television, and I'm not even going to be sitting up here and lying to you guys saying that she has not made me laugh a time or two. She's made me laugh a lot, but I don't have to have her in my life. I don't really care because for me, like most of us, it's entertainment. But I remember on the show when Kandi and Todd were getting the Old Lady Gang restaurant together and some things were being held up. And Phaedra just came out of the blue and asked Kandi as they were having a conversation, not about the restaurant. She comes out and says, so how's the restaurant coming along? She knew exactly what she was doing with that because Kandi even mentioned that to her at that time and accused her of saying some things or doing some things because there was someone in the department that was responsible for signing off on her getting her liquor license and getting some things A-okayed for them to be open, and she was holding it up. That's evil. You know, people who do things like that, what did Kandi really do to Phaedra for her to do those things towards her? She talked about how Kandi just wasn't really there for her during the time that she was going through what she was going through with Apollo and him being charged, arrested, and eventually convicted or pleading guilty. I think he just pled guilty, which I guess is the same thing as being convicted because he didn't go through a trial. But Phaedra wasn't even there for her husband. And most of us believe that she knew what was going on. I still to this day do not believe that he was running this criminal enterprise and she had absolutely no knowledge of it. But getting to Porsha and why she felt that she could move forward with Porsha, even though it was a slow boil, but they eventually, I guess, consider themselves friendly and friends at this point. I don't understand that either because, yeah, she says that Phaedra was the one that gave her that information and whatnot. But it's almost like Kandi, even though she says she doesn't forget, and it seems like some people forget stuff, it's almost like Kandi is forgetting this. And this is just one fight because she and Porsha had several fights, and it wasn't about the dungeon rumor or lie that Phaedra made up. It was about Porsha, Kandi, and Todd. So I'm going to play this clip because listen, I don't understand all the mixing up that they do with each other, having fun with each other, if you want to call it that. I'm not getting into all of that. But It was how Porsha was denying and lying to Kandi about something that wasn't the dungeon rumor.
I am bothered by Miss Porsha. I hate that I ever was cool with her. I don't know why she's trying to put me on blast, but I just have to get it off my chest.
Hi.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Welcome to Prince Italia.
Thank you.
Paper set up right now.
Okay.
Got you set up over here.
Hello. What's up?
Nothing much.
And are you going to start you off with some sparkling or still water?
Yeah, I'll take still.
Still?
Still, please. What you got going on? A cup of ice?
I'm on a 2-day cleanse.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean,
Well, good to see you.
yeah,
I've been trying to call you.
Yeah, I know. I guess I would have to say, I was thrown off a little bit the other day, to say the least. Mainly because when, the whole thing came up, when she was like, are you a lesbian or whatever, and
Right.
when Marlo had brought it up,
Yeah.
and then, everybody was asking Sheree, well, who said it or whatever, and how you were going so hard with us to find out who the person was.
Someone at this table has been saying she's a lesbian in the closet.
What? Who said that? I was the ringleader for let's find who this bitch is who said it. Because honestly, I didn't know what she was talking about at first.
How could you not?
I mean, I don't remember every little conversation. And plus, when I said it, it wasn't something I thought would have carried any weight. Why would that statement carry weight?
How do you think it was going to be taken? I'm confused.
Well, when I said it, I didn't care how you took it. When you found out about it, I wanted you to know that it wasn't something that I'm going around speaking.
Girl,
That's what that was.
I mean, at the end of the day, you were speaking of something.
Well, you've been talking to Sheree about me and Block.
First of all, let's be clear. I did not tell her y'all had sex. But when you, me, and her had the conversation that day, and it looked as though you was trying to come at me crazy.
You seem to think we were there for a long period of time and y'all had sex.
I didn't go into your sex life. Yeah, of course, you did have sex.
And that was another thing. When I was talking to you that day, it was not me coming for you.
Yeah, you were. Well, at the end of the day,
Yeah, but
the way I know is because you told me you had sex with him. The bitch told me that she's had sex with Block. All about what positions they've done. I mean, full detail. So why would she lie about that? If you just own your shit, you wouldn't have to be sitting up here always trying
what
to
have
meet
I
on
not
the
owned?
ass.
What have I not owned?
Own your shit. If that's the case, if they want to ask you about it, don't sit up here and try to throw it on me like,
First of all,
she said, why she said that?
if I'm-
Well, I don't know how she would know. You know how the I know, because you told me. She tells one lie to cover up stuff that she don't want people to know about herself. Then when you say something else that she don't want people to know, then she tell more lies to cover that up. To me, for you to try to imply, oh, she must be, at the end of the day, it ain't no secret. I done hooked up with a chick before. It ain't never been a secret. I don't live my life like that. You do.
I live my life how?
In secret.
Oh, how? And what
Yes.
secret?
Well, you done been with chicks before and all that.
Have several seats, Kandi. If you want to call me out and try to so-called put my life on Front Street, let's talk about yours. Let me tell you something. First and foremost, I'm not out here telling your business. But if you want to go there, Kandi, it is what it is. Because if I'm single and if that's what I choose to do, that's one thing. But if I'm married and I choose to bring other women and flip-flop them in my bed like pancakes, that's something totally different.
Let's be clear. My husband and I, we've only had one experience where we've done that.
Oh, Kandi, stop.
That is the
Don't do
truth.
that.
Whether you don't want to believe it.
Why? Girl, I thought we were having an honest conversation.
I'm having an honest conversation with you.
Now, you don't have a sex dungeon?
No, I do not.
Oh, that's a lie.
No, I would love to show you my house.
Oh, I don't need to see it.
No, ma'am.
I don't need to see it.
No, ma'am.
Whatever sex chamber
You
y'all
made
have going
that
on.
up.
I made that up.
Yes, you did. You
Oh,
just
no, I
made
did
that
not.
to make yourself
I
feel
promise
good.
you I didn't make make that up.
Now, y'all know good and damn well, if I had a sex dungeon, I would tell everybody. Because I think it's actually cool. She's so foolish. It just hurts me. It hurts me. If I'm with my husband and we decide to hook up, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's just like when you was kissing me in the club and told me you wanted to eat my till I can't.
I want to eat your
You said
Girl,
that.
are you kidding
you
me?
can deny it if
Are
you
you
want to.
kidding me?
Your tongue kissed me in my mouth.
Let's
and
also
you said
talk
you wanted
about-
to eat me till I can't.
That is a f***ing lie.
You tongue me down, bitch.
All of that is a lie.
First of all,
I
it's
have
not
a good
even
time.
just
I have a
me.
good time to do what I
It's
do.
not even just
You
me.
and your relationship that you had with a woman for 7 years, and you're all uproar with me. While we talking about what I do,
I'm sorry, roll back. What?
I'm doing.
I've never had a relationship with no woman.
You haven't?
Never.
You haven't.
I never.
I'll give you her information because you need to call her.
Please.
Because this girl is literally telling people that you were in a
Please
full-blown
give me the
relationship with her.
information.
And that you broke up
Please.
with her. You ended it abruptly when people found out.
You just made that up.
No, I did not. I'm from Atlanta. I know
from
a girl.
Atlanta too.
Kandi, everybody knows what you do.
Listen.
It's not a secret of
Understand
what you've
me.
done back in the day with all these
Understand
R&B
me.
groups you slept with, flop with here and there.
I know you
It's
ain't finna
not-
go into
it's
talking
not-
about people slept with R&B groups.
Everybody.
Girl, you was a freak hoe.
You was a freak hoe.
Bye.
Kandi, you really need
You
to own up to
had.
something.
You-
right now, you're just like, oh, my
No,
angel,
ma'am.
and Todd and I one bitch in our bed, which is a lie, and you know
That is
it.
not a lie.
Y'all house is the international house of hoes, and you know it. So just
you
stop.
an international hoe. She met my daughter's father because she was screwing one of the other rappers that he knew. So, bitch, you was a pass around. Show you all in the videos. You weren't there just because you was cute.
So you like the fact that your husband has other chicks who he goes with in different states?
What other
You
chicks
like
are you
that?
talking about?
So you think y'all only share in your room? Matter of fact, why don't you call trying to ask him about what he just told a girl in New York this past weekend?
Okay, please. I will ask.
Telling him his name is Marvin.
Okay.
So that he can cheat. Marvin, his alias, that's what you need to worry
Marvin.
about. All of that is in the streets of Atlanta. Probably the same streets Mama Joyce be listening to. It's out there, boo-boo. You might want to clean that up for you. Bring all this attention to Porsha. Go clean them streets up. Go clean them blogs up. It's talking about you, boo.
At the end of the day, ma'am.
Statement that I made,
You're
and
sitting
now
up
you
here
done
trying to
taking it
pretend.
all the way to the left.
Ma'am, if
I'm
you're
not-
sitting up here
I'm not-
talking about I had some 7-year relationship with
Yes,
some woman.
that's one of the facts.
That is not no
It is a
fact.
fact.
What is a fact, bitch, is
It is
that
a
you tried
fact.
to tell me you wanted to eat my
It's the
motherfucking
fact. Did I eat your right? Hell no.
First of all, this
Kidding
tastes
me?
like sugar.
I'm not
bitch.
into
It tastes
teacups,
like
short and stout,
sugar.
bitch. Trust.
I know the
If I did like a bitch,
I
you're not
know
my
you
type.
did, girl,
Believe
bye.
that. And I'm gonna give you the girl's number. I'll text it to you later
Please
so you
do,
can talk to
ma'am.
the girl.
Please do.
Because I want you to be
Please
able to,
do.
do what you do. But you and your husband
do
and what
what
y'all
you
do,
do.
y'all might want to have those chicks sign some NDAs.
Girl, goodbye. I'm done.
All right. Ask him about last
Bye.
night.
Girl, I can't with you. Have some real information next time.
Yeah. Toodle, bitch.
Okay, so, I mean, did you hear that? If you needed a reminder, if you had seen it before and you forgot, I would never be friends with Porsha if I was Kandi, okay? The thing that she was saying there in that little blow up, that did not sound like stuff that Phaedra told her. She was sitting there and saying she knows the girl that says that she was in a 7-year relationship with Kandi. She was going to send her the girl's phone number. She said that she was really hurt when Kandi abruptly broke off the relationship. That doesn't sound like Phaedra. That sounds like Porsha's getting firsthand knowledge from some alleged chick that's saying that Kandi was in a relationship with her. Porsha saying that Kandi had girls flip-flopping out of her bed with her and Todd. And also Kandi saying, you told me that you were going to do this to my coochie. And Porsha sitting there at that moment denying it. But later on in the season, she's talking to her sister and she's saying, well, look, if I said that, then it must have been the Hennessy because of blah, 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 and laughing about it. Porsha is not honest either. So the fake and phony crying on the reunion, oh my God, I never would have said anything like that if Phaedra didn't tell me those things. She was kicking the can down the road and making Phaedra the scapegoat. Listen, I'm not saying that Phaedra's innocent. She's not. Because Phaedra's done her dirt too. But with that situation, I truly did not believe that Phaedra should have been the only one to be penalized. I don't care if Porsha apologized. It's fake. This is the same woman who DM'd Simon to say, I'm so sorry to hear about your marriage, when she was trying to shoot her shot, but she's trying to make it seem like she just was sending a message to him because she was sorry to hear about what happened. Why didn't she send a message to Fallon? You know what I'm saying? Say what you will and say what you want about Fallon. And all of those things might be true, but it doesn't mean that Porsha isn't a thought who is looking for her next come up. And she usually gets it because she uses her beauty and her body to get what she wants. Simon is a sucker who was ready to be licked. And if I were Kandi, I wouldn't be friends with Porsha either. But again, I'm not Kandi, so I can't tell her what to do. Okay? But I understand where Kandi's coming from when it comes to Phaedra and why she would never have a conversation with her. She definitely doesn't owe Phaedra anything. Absolutely not. But I don't think that I would be friends with Porsha either. And I just wanted to talk about that, guys. You let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.